The weather might be hot, but was NXT hot or was it not? That's what we're going to find out here today, guys. Welcome back to Fog Wrestling, and it must be about 30 degrees, 35 degrees. I don't know what the heat is, but damn, we are melting here. So I'm going to try and get through this review. Watched NXT this morning. Doesn't matter where I watch it, out in the sun, in the shade. It's fucking too warm for this shit, man. Honestly, watching wrestling is hard enough. It's uncomfortable enough having to sit here watching hours of wrestling, but when wrestling's bad and then you've got this like massive amount of heats, I don't know. I do not know. Living in the UK, not normally used to heat waves like this, but by God, it's like the sun is literally taken over. Sun is going to headline WrestleMania. The Sun's going to enter the Royal Rumble and fucking exterminate everybody else in the match. That's how strong this Sun is, man. We could be looking at a 10-year world title reign from the Sun because the heat, man, is out of control. But anyway, let's get to today's show. Last night's show even. I can't even remember what night it is, man. This what's happening? NXT North American Champion Wesley teamed up with Tyler Bate and Mustafa Ali to take on the Schism. Joe Gacy, Rip Fowler, and Jagger Reed. I mean, it's actually embarrassing looking at the Schism. They're all like out of shape bastards. Like, why doesn't Joe Gacy cover up? I never actually realised how fat and just how out of shape and the lack of physique that Joe Gacy had until he started wrestling in his trunks. Like, what, 8 months ago, 9 months ago? This guy is so fucking unfit. And yeah, no, it's like, you can say what you want, but when someone is unfit, it entirely takes the look away from them being a professional wrestler. I lose a lot of respect for wrestlers. I mean, I think if Kevin Owens took his top off to wrestle, I'd probably never watch Raw again. In my opinion, unless your gimmick is you're a fat bastard and you're using your weight to your advantage, then you shouldn't be fucking fat. But you got people like Joe Gacy, Kevin Owens. These are guys that never use their weight to their advantage. They're never called fat. It's never like addressed that they are out of shape. That never happens. They're just supposed to be two guys that wrestle. They're supposed to be the same as everyone else. At least guys like Rikishi, they used their size to their advantage. Rikishi had a big fat ass and we fucking knew about it because he would do stink faces, he would do bonsai drops, he would do a lot of shit involving his ass. Look at Big Daddy V. Fucking hell, look at the amount of weight, look at the amount of flab. I mean, he'd more tits on him than a whorehouse, man. But Big Daddy V had massive fucking gigantic bits of flab and man boobs hanging everywhere, and he used that to his advantage. You know, they put him over as this like mastodon, this guy that if he lands on you, you're crushed. But now we have fucking fat people in wrestling, we have out of shape people in wrestling, and we're not allowed to we're not allowed to state, we're not allowed to clarify the fact that they are indeed out of shape. Like, I'm looking at like Doudrop, Nia Jax, they never mention the fact that, wow, they look at their weight. Yeah, they call Nia Jax, what is it, they call her the irremovable object or whatever, but still, they kind of portray it more to do with her height as well, because she's like physically imposing and bigger than the other girls in terms of height. She can like stand tall over everyone. But why not just be like, look at Doudrop. This is a fat bitch, and if she lands on you, then you're done, you're beat, you're finished. But anyway, this is NXT, guys. I don't know why I'm ranting about. Let's get through this show. I don't know why I'm ranting about heat and weight and fat people, but anyway, you never know what you're getting here on Fog Wrestling. The team of the North American Champion Wesley and Tyler Bate and Mustafa Ali win. There was some dodgy interference with the ref, basically screwed over the Schism. So that happened. We go backstage. Thea Hall was going over last week's. She's with Drew Gulak and Charlie Dempsey. She's going over last week's Battle Royal. And basically, they're saying she's not ready yet, and she needs to be able to beat Cora Jade tonight. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of Thea Hall. I think it's fucking cringe anytime Thea Hall's on the screen and I have to watch it. It's really, really cringe, but I do like Chase U, or at least, should I say, I did like Chase U. I mean, Chase University were its best when you had Andrew Chase and you had Bodie. That is when Chase University was great, and you'd Andrew Chase going on these rants every single week. Now we're just not getting that. You get Thea Hall acting like a complete fucking moron, and it's not entertaining. Yeah, she's energetic, I'm not denying that. At least she's trying, you know, like she's doing something, but it's not good. It's very, very cringe. So yeah, I don't really dig Chase University at the moment. Braun comes out wants to challenge Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins comes out. This was so predictable. I said this would happen in the preview. Rollins comes out and goes, ha 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 ha, and he goes, I accept. That's it. Match next week. I'm coming home to where it all began. We're getting 2 title matches next week, by the way. That's kind of, I guess that's a big deal. Then we go backstage with Wesley, Tyler Bate, and Mustafa Ali. Ali says, wow, okay, we need to sort this match out. Next week it's going to be used to one-on-one, or 2 weeks' time it's going to be used to one-on-one. Why don't I be the special guest referee? They all agree on it. And then Tyler Bates like, guys, let's go out for dinner. I know a nice little cute vegan restaurant. Are you serious? Cute Tyler Bate in the fucking bin. Vegan. Fuck this guy. Put him in the garbage disposal. What's that? Why have we got this guy that looks like a fucking... Look at it. Look at the stadium, Tyler Bates. Seriously. Just look at the stadium. And then he's coming... We're talking about vegan restaurants. Is this the shite that we're bringing into wrestling? I mean, you've had Roxanne Perez talking about wanting to bring in mental health. Now this wee vegan fucker wants to bring in veganism and probably wants to bring in transgenderism and all that shit. I mean, no. Fuck no. NXT, I don't like it. It's going downhill. I'm surprised they don't come out with the big LGBT flags wrapped around them. I mean, this is fucking garbage here, but I mean, whatever. We need to carry on with the show. What did we have next? I'll tell you what, man, this heat is unreal. Thea Hall versus Cora Jade. Thea Hall wins. Then we got the Heritage Cup. Oh yeah, Dana Brooke came out. Plastic bitch herself, Dana Brooke came out. I don't know how her face hasn't melted. There's so much plastic on it. I'm surprised the sun just hasn't literally melted her face and it's just like a puddle on the ground, because that's what probably should happen. Hasn't happened yet. Dana Brooke comes out and costs Cora Jade, and I'm just not really seeing it. I get what they're doing. Look, they're trying to get people to come for the main roster, put them in NXT to try and help the ratings, to try and make NXT feel like a bigger show, a more important show. But surely if they want to do that, then they need to be sending better people for the main roster than Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke is not going to cut it. Mustafa Ali not going to cut it. We need to see bigger stars in this show. And then, so yeah, that was it. Speaking of big stars, we've got another 2 bums coming for the main roster later on in the show, but we'll talk about that when we get there. It was Heritage Cup action. Noam Dar was unable to compete, so Oro Mensah took his place. He took on Nathan Fraser. He took on Nathan Fraser after a battle. Nathan Fraser gets 2 falls. A couple of women came out, and I don't know what happened really, guys. A couple of women came out. Who cares? Who the fuck cares? So that happened. And yeah, that was it. I mean, we've got a new champion though. Heritage Cup champion is Nathan Fraser. I personally think that he will get this taken off him next week. I think that Noam Dar will probably appeal and say that he can't lose the title, he can't lose the cup, because he wasn't in the match. That's what I think will probably happen, so we'll see. We then see Mr. Stone and Von Fagner. We're backstage talking about therapy lessons. D-Jack comes up and tells Stone to get with a real winner and not this loser, which I guess is fair enough. Von Fagner's a loser. And then Von tells Stone he's done talking about therapy. Stone then they have a discussion about what Stone says he needs Fagner to get someone he trusts, and Fagner says, I trust you, Mr. Stone. So we'll probably get Stone turning on Fagner and maybe aligning himself with D-Jack. Right, then we got a 2-on-1 handicap match, Axiom and Scripps versus Dabo Kato. Now, last week Scripps beat Dabo Kato by himself. So this week they have a 2-on-1 match and Axiom and Scripps beat Dabo Kato. And it's like, who the fuck is surprised here? I mean, we just seen Scripps on his own beat Dabo Kato. Why would we be surprised that when he has a tag team partner and it's 2-on-1? Why would we be surprised? And the commentary team is trying to sell this as if it's like a major shock. And it's like, no. We seen him beat him last week 1-on-1. If it's a 2-on-1 handicap match, then he's got an even better chance. And plus, these guys are faces. I mean, 2 faces beating up 1 guy. It's hard to cheer for baby. And I get it, they're smaller men, but how can you be a babyface and need the numbers advantage to win? There is no baby faces and heels in wrestling anymore, let's be honest. But yeah, Axiom and Scripps get the win. Then they're attacked by Angel and Humberto, so another two guys coming from the main roster that we just don't want to see on NXT, let's be fucking honest. Then, probably the best part of the show, we've seen Shannon Stacks Lorenzo. He's backstage with like a whiteboard. He's tying up all the pieces. He's doing his little investigation. He basically goes over everybody that could have attacked the Tony D, the boss. And he comes to the conclusion that it must be Gallus. He says instead of getting angry, he needs to get even. And he needs to get Tony out of prison before they can capture the belts. I think it's pretty obvious here that Stacks is the rat. I hope I'm wrong, because I like the dynamic between Stacks and Tony D, and for me, they definitely should be, I don't even know if they should be tag team champs, but Tony D should have a belt, and there should be more people added to this family, and it should be like a bloodline kind of level story in my opinion, but at the moment they're keeping it to two men, so yeah, we'll see what happens then. Then we got Edris Enofi versus Malik Blade. Malik Blade won. I mean, who cares? Not me. Then we got a bunch of people backstage. Damon Kemp was there. Booker T announces a tag match for next week or something. Point is, doesn't really matter. It was just 3 bombs, like, well, 6 bombs, 3 sets of bombs, and whoever wins is going to get a shot at Gallas, so I don't really care. Then we got Roxanne Perez versus Tatum Paxley, and Roxanne Perez defeated Tatum Paxley. No surprise there. After the match, she calls out Davenport, says you can still try and hunt me next week or whatever, but I'm looking down for you or whatever. So she says the hunt is on for Davenport. Yeah, no, not a big Roxanne Perez fan, to be honest. I mean, she's okay in the ring, I guess, and she's cute, but nah, the whole mental health stuff, that kind of that rubbed me the wrong way. We don't need to see that in wrestling. No guy is going to get fucking over, because no woman's going to get over either. I mean, if you're a guy, you'll get over for being a badass. If you're a woman, you'll get over for being hot. Let's just keep it at that, you know. It's simple. That's how it fucking works, you know. It doesn't, her coming out and having, oh, anxiety, I can't defend my belt. No, if you can't defend your belt, then people are just going to think you're a loser. If you have to forfeit the belt because you've got anxiety and you can't wrestle, then you're a loser. It's that simple. You're not a star. You're not the one who should have the championship belt. Imagine Austin coming out and going, oh, I'm going to have to forfeit the belt at Mania because I can't defend here against The Rock because I've got anxiety. Mr. McMahon's been bullying me and I've got anxiety. Could you no, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. That would have been shit. That would have been shit. Anyway, let's move on. Almost through this review, guys. Absolutely fucking melting here. Number 1 contenders match, Baron Corbin versus Eli Dragunov. And before this though, we got a video package for 2 new guys who are debuting, Bronco Nima and Lucien Price, and I like the look of these two. These 2 guys look big, they were jacked, they looked like stars, they just had a unique appearance. I don't even know if I don't know if they're Mexican or Puerto Rican, or I don't know where they're from, but they just look unique. They look like guys that could be fucking wrestlers, and they don't look like Tyler Bates of this world, put it that way. So this new tag team, I think I've got a good look, and it'll be interesting to see what they do once they get here. Dragunov then loses to Corbin thanks to Braun Breaker. Breaker comes out, causes an interference. Dragunov hits Breaker with his running move, and then Corbin hits the end of days, and he gets the 1, 2, 3, and then after the match, Carmelo Hayes comes out, attacks Corbin. He hits the flying cutter off the middle rope, and that is it. Corbin Hayes runs out the ring, and NXT goes after air with Hayes holding the belt up. So yeah, next week Hayes versus Corbin, and I actually can't believe I'm going to say this. I would maybe have Corbin win next week. I think just seeing Corbin the last few weeks in NXT, for me, it's been better than anything Corbin's done for over a year now. So yeah, I'm not really behind the Carmelo Hayes run. I mean, I think Carmelo Hayes will win, but I wouldn't be opposed to Corbin getting the win. We'll see what happens next week. Double title match. We've got Corbin and Hayes versus Rollins and Breaker. And yeah, I mean, I personally wouldn't do this. It's like you're defending the NXT World Championship on the same show as the WWE World Championship. It's like, so it's like, you know, it's going to be just undervalued straight away. It's going to be playing second fiddle. It's going to be like at a lower tier. I just think if you're having an NXT World title match, that should be a big deal. But having it on the same show is Seth Rollins coming to NXT. That's going to be overshadowed. And yeah, for me, it's just going to feel like just another match when Seth Rollins is there with the WWE Championship. So I would have personally held off. But look, guys, that's it. I'll give this NXT, I'll give it a 2 out of 10. It wasn't great. I mean, I like the stacks. You know what? I'll give it a 3 out of 10. Fuck it, 3 out of 10. I'll be fair. Some of the matches were okay. 3 out of 10, guys. That's it. Let me know your thoughts down below. Catch you in the next one. And of course, until then, hopefully we get a better review. Just this heat, man, it's uncomfortable. Don't want to sit here and talk about wrestling. Pretty tired as well. I'm blaming the heat on everything. Screw it, man. I've got major nuclear heat here on Fog Wrestling for giving out shit reviews. So there you go. Next one will be better, guys. Promise. Till then, though. Peace.